Hi guys, just thought I would show you one of my painted rocks being painted. Just choosing the simplest basic design here, just my logo. This particular piece of rock, I think, is just a bit of cement rendering. It's fallen off a building, off a wall or something. I just picked it up in the road. I've given it a couple of coats of Poundland yacht varnish already, just to seal the surface. You don't always need to do that, but I was varnishing lots of rocks at the same time, so I gave all of these a coat of varnish anyway, just to seal them. Sometimes that's a good thing to do and sometimes it isn't. If you're using marker pens, sometimes you want the colour to soak into the rock. Certainly if you want to change its colour, if you want to make it red or yellow or something, then you would want the marker pen to soak in as you rub it all over. But if you're doing fine detail and it starts to soak into the rock, then it just blurs and spreads. So, as I say, sometimes you want to varnish it first, sometimes you don't. What I've got to do now is wait for that 3D paint, which you get from craft shops or Poundland. Need to wait for that to dry. I might colour it in, I might not, but I do want to put all my details on the back here. Just write them in. Grandad is an old man, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. And then I usually write in big letters there, find me, to try and encourage people to find me on YouTube or any of the others. I'm just looking there, there's two eyes looking at me. Two eyes, nose and a mouth. So I could just as easily have done it on that side. In fact, I'm looking in the camera and that's showing up even better in the camera than it is while I'm looking at it, so the light must be catching it just right. But we'll stick to this side. I like to have a flat surface to write on if possible. So, flat surface there. There's another one that looks like a bit of rendering or something that's fallen off a wall. That's a bit of cement. So's that. And then the rest of those look like pebbles or rocks. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to leave that now and come back in a few hours. Time has passed, probably a couple of hours or so. We've been out for our midday coffee. So that's touch dry anyway. So write my details on the back. I could either try and write them using the 3D paint. And we can have a look, see if any of these are any good. Black's probably too dark. I use these quite often. The correction pens give you a nice white writing. The only trouble is, quite often they dry up and you can't use them. Oh, hang on, we've got visitors chatting in the background. I'll have to pause for a minute. Right, we have guests, but I have permission to finish what I'm doing. So, let's have a look. I'll try the correction pen. See how we get on. Not very well for a start. Let's see, give it a bit of a squeeze. That's a start. Okay, so Grandad is an old man. Quite so neat there. Can we get Pinterest in there? Oh, getting a bit close. Just got it in. Leave that to dry. Might be able to write "find me" along the edge there. Yeah, not ideal for writing, especially on a bit of a rough surface, but the varnish I use doesn't seem to affect this once it's dried. It doesn't make it run. So that'll do for a minute. We'll let that dry. Change in the lighting because the sun's gone in now, so I've been able to open the curtains. So this is where we were up to. Got my details on the back. Got a simple thing on the front. I was going to see if I could write "find me" on it somewhere. Ideally I'd write it just there, but that's too rough. Might be able to get it in here. How are we doing? So it's dried up. sort of halfway between painting and writing this. Okay, so I've got "Find Me" written on there. I'm just thinking about possibly colouring the middle of that in with either red or blue. I like the idea of red, but I don't know if I've got enough left. That might have been it. Right, got a bit more coming. Right, we'll leave that to dry. And then we'll give it a coat of varnish. Out in the garage now, so fairly low light conditions. These are all rocks I've already been doing. They've all been coated, several coats of varnish already, using different varnish to go over the writing. This is the old Poundland yacht varnish, which is thicker and it doesn't dissolve the writing, whereas this is the current Poundland yacht varnish. I think all they've done is they've chucked loads of thinners in it so they can sell more of it for less. It's much thinner. Anyway, we'll give this a couple of coats of the thin stuff. I've got my hat camera here, so try to make sure it's pointing down enough to see what we're doing. Put a glove on my left hand so I can hold the rock while I paint it, because it'll help if we open the tin. Made hard work of that because I was trying to keep it in camera. Never mind. Right, what do I do with the brush? Right, that's the one I've been using. Just to check, we'll do this side, just to check it doesn't actually dissolve the writing. That seems to be okay. Yeah, we'll leave that. These are wooden kits I've put together for a different type of video, just I call them peaceful interlude ones, because these take anything from 20 minutes to an hour to actually put together. So I just video it and play music. So you don't even need to watch the video, you can just sit and listen to the music. It's all non-copyright stuff from YouTube's audio library. And then I give it the finished article a couple of coats of varnish, write my details on it, and use that as leave behind art as well. I used to keep them, and I just had so many blocking up space in the house that I decided to start giving them away. So these become leave behind art, just a different style, not a rock. I guess anybody who finds them, if they really want to, they could paint them up. I think they look quite nice as plain wood, but at the same time, when you do paint them, they do look very nice. So, case of suit yourself if you find one of mine. Leave as it is, or paint it, or just stick it on the fire. That was the problem, I had so many of them, we were actually doing that, I was actually burning them, just to get rid of them, putting them on our open fire, and that seemed wrong, so now I give them away. The coat of varnish is really just to make them last a little bit longer when we leave them out and about somewhere. Most of these kits are supposed to hold themselves together. You don't need to glue them, but I've found recently most of them have needed at least some gluing, and since I decided to give them away anyway, I glue all of them. I think I've done that, both sides. All looks pretty wet to me. Right, so I'll come back and give this a coat on the other side later. I probably don't need to video that, do I? That's white spirit in there. That's my little spot where I brush the excess off. take it inside and wash it with washing up liquid. These are Poundland brushes. You get 5 for £1. So at one time I was just using them and letting them go dry and throw them away. So then I worked out I could save myself a couple of pennies by doing this, actually cleaning them, so they last a little bit longer. Sit there and dry out. Right, that should do for now. It's about 10 o'clock at night. I'm using my mobile phone to film this because I've just given this another coat of varnish over the top. I think that'll do for now. I think we've done enough on this video to give you an idea of what I do. And if you keep an eye on my channel or my Facebook account or my Instagram account or my Pinterest account, you'll probably see a picture of this when I finally leave it somewhere. It is actually still damp around the edges because I've only just given it a second coat of varnish. But yeah, one of my painted rocks, just a very simple version. There's some others there being done, so that should do. Keep your eyes open and you should be able to see it in place somewhere. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.